All right, lighting the fuse on another brand new hour of the Steve Gruber Show. I am so glad to have you here, broadcasting from the heart of America in Studio G and fighting for you every day from the foxhole of freedom to defend this great nation, which I've done for 14 years from this seat. Here are the three big things you need to know this hour. Number one, huge win for the Trump backing political parties in Greenland. The media and the world scrambling to spin the outcome, but the truth is it's a huge surge right and a huge win for America. Number two, President Trump hoping to talk with Vladimir Putin soon and discuss the ceasefire that has been agreed to by those on the other side of the war in Ukraine. Hopefully we can see this war end. And number three, there's a lot going on again today. The government shutdown looming, and it appears that Chuck Schumer, who President Trump referred to yesterday as a Palestinian, and because of his support for the Palestinians and not the Jewish people, he's allegedly Jewish, but I understood the point. He's pushing Democrats to shut the government down, is Chuck Schumer. It's fascinating, really, how the Democrats are now in love with shutting down the government, when in the past, shutting down the government was the worst possible thing that could ever happen. I mean, it was the end of the universe. I mean, here's an example.
We believe in governance. We want to keep government open. A shutdown is very serious.
There are real consequences when the government shuts down. It harms our national security, it harms our economy, and it harms service members, veterans, retirees, and vulnerable communities.
We all know a shutdown is unnecessary and completely avoidable.
The tragedy here is all the civilian employees. It is the American people who are going to suffer.
Border Patrol agents will not be paid. TSA agents will not be paid. Small businesses will be hurt.
Not only is it irresponsible and purposely misleading, it is dangerous precedent to be threatening a shutdown.
I'm worried about our air controllers, those in the military. We have over almost 40,000 in the military, as well as personnel who work in the military, and they won't have checks. I mean, this is real.
The real people's lives at stake.
It is not normal to hold 800,000 workers' paychecks hostage. It is not normal to shut down the government when we don't get what we want.
And yet, every single person you just saw voted to shut down the government. Every single one of the people you just heard say it's not normal to hold paychecks hostage and all of this just voted to shut down the government. Just yesterday, Ted Lieu and others on the left were openly calling on Senate Democrats to do exactly that, shut down the government. Here they are.
If the message is, you know, you guys stand with the American people on their side, House Democrats did that, but if Senate Democrats support this, it's going to muddle that message. It's going to look like Democrats are divided on this thing. How are you going to make it clear to the American people that this isn't a Democrats divided narrative in Washington, that there's confusion here about how Democrats should act in this moment when I get to stand up against Trump?
House Democrats are very clear. We're asking Senate Democrats to vote no on this continuing resolution, which is not clean, and it makes cuts across the board, and it's going to be one of those things where people are going to look at this vote, and every bad thing that now happens with Doge and Donald Trump, Elon Musk, it can go back to this vote. So we're asking Senate Democrats to vote no.
The Schumer shutdown. The Democrats, they don't care about any of this. They don't care about anything except politics. It's not what's best for the country. What Elon Musk is doing is good for the country. We haven't had serious trimming of the fat in government in a very long time. Are some people going to lose their jobs? Yes, unfortunately, that's true. But we have too many people working for government. The number one employer in Washington, D.C. is far and away the government. And unfortunately, that's true in state capitals all over this country. And in some states, the biggest employer is government. It was never supposed to be this way, as you know. It was never supposed to be this way. Politics was never supposed to be a career. Makes me rethink my opposition, tepid as it may be now, for term limits. Term limits. How do you feel about them? At any rate, you have politics. In fact, there was this deal yesterday. 50 Democrats put out the same message, identical message, because they don't have an original thought in their heads, right? Not an original thought in any of their heads. And they put out, let me see, I'm seeing if I can find it here. Democrats' identical message. I'll see if I can find it here. I'll read it for you, right? Because it's just telling us what they're doing. It's all the same. Oh, it'll pop up here in a minute. Let me do this for a second. The cutting of wasteful spending will continue. That's for sure. All right, that's for sure. Lee Zeldin, EPA director, says it's time to strip down the rules and regulations that are killing us financially. Here it is.
Today, I'm pleased to make the largest deregulatory announcement in U.S. history. The Environmental Protection Agency is initiating 31 historic actions to fulfill President Trump's promise to unleash American energy, revitalize our auto industry, restore the rule of law, and give power back to the states. EPA will be reconsidering many suffocating rules that restrict nearly every sector of our economy and cost Americans trillions of dollars. Our actions include the Biden administration's deeply flawed Clean Power Plan 2.0, mercury and air toxic standards, Quad O BC, particulate matter 2.5, light, medium, and heavy car and truck rules, NESHAPs, and the so-called social cost of carbon.
Yeah, social cost of carbon. By the way, I found it. Didn't take me but a moment more. Here is the message regurgitated online on social media by more than 50 House Democrats, probably 100 now, but at least 50 that were found that quickly. House Democrats stand united for a 4-week funding extension that stops harmful cuts, keeps government open, and allows Congress to reach a bipartisan funding agreement. I'm ready to vote today, tomorrow, or Friday to pass a 4-week extension. You see, they're scared to death of actual cuts and reductions in spending. Things that take money out of their pockets, and more important, things that take money out of the pockets of the people that donate to their campaigns. That's what this is about. It's about money. USAID, we're going to find out, funded Kamala Harris's campaign. That's coming down. I've talked to some people who say that's already been identified. The USAID, not just Kamala Harris, by the way, Democrats in general. USAID funding Democrats, Kamala Harris, radicals. And look at all these radical judges, all these leftist activist judges shutting down everything and anything that Donald Trump and his administration try to do. Now, the administration keeps winning, but there are speed bumps, nothing too catastrophic yet. And it was all anticipated, so they're ready for this, finally. Finally, the Republicans are ready to play ball, which is kind of refreshing. Actually, I'll tell you that. All right, after the break, Kevin Coughlin will be here, the Ohio State Chair for U.S. term limits. All right, he might have me. He might finally have me. I might be a convert today. We'll find out. Am I going for term limits? Stick with me after the break to find out. It's the Steve Gruber Show.